Welcome to the Messiah Revelation channel, where prophetic ministry dedicated to the end times. I thank the members who are watching the videos. I thank those who are sharing the videos, and I encourage you to stick with the channel. We are in the end times. The Antichrist has already been revealed, and he is Barack Hussein Obama, the 44th President of the United States. And today our focus is on part 2 of our series, Deceiving the Hebrews. I did a video on how they deceived the Hebrew Israelites, and I did part 1 of the video, and this message is part 2 of the series. And in this part, we are focusing on how they destroy the message. The video is simple. The video is dedicated to the Hebrew Israelites who are scattered over the world. We are not talking about the 1948 state of Israel. We are talking about the Negroes who are scattered over the world. We are talking about the remnants who will be gathered by the Messiah in the end times, as recorded in Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. There is a strategy to destroy the message of the awakening of the Hebrews, those who are going to be gathered by the Messiah when he comes. The time for his coming is very close, and so we are focusing on the strategy that Lucifer and his agents are using to destroy the message of the awakening of the Hebrew Israelites. And I encourage you to watch part 1, which focuses on how Lucifer and his agents are destroying the message of the awakening by focusing on destroying the messengers. And today we are talking about how they destroy the message. And we have to look at the Bible, and let's look at Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, and let's read. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of God. I will also forget thy children. So Hosea 4 verse 6 is important. It says, for lack of knowledge, my people will perish. And Hosea 4 6 is also saying that because some people have rejected knowledge, the Lord will also forget them. And people don't have the knowledge, they are not aware they are Hebrews, and this platform is to awaken them so that they will be prepared when the Messiah comes for the regathering. The regathering is coming very soon, and Lucifer and his agents are destroying the awakening by destroying the message, and they have a strategy that they are using to destroy the message. The strategy is century-old strategy. They have used it for centuries. And one of the methods that they use in destroying the message is recorded here in a book written by John Johnson. John Johnson is an African American and a pastor, a scholar. He wrote a book, The Black Biblical Heritage. And at the back, he has written, in 300 AD, when Rome was just adopting the Christian doctrine, thousands of books, portraits, and sacred icons portraying the traditional belief that Africa developed the early fundamentals of Judaism and Christianity were banned desecrated and hidden throughout the empire. So the first strategy that they used, or one of the early strategies, was to destroy information about the Hebrews, the Hebrew Israelites, information about Africa and how Africa contributed to Christianity and also to civilization in general. And so the strategy of destroying Hebrew awakening involves destroying the message. And destroying the message includes burning books, destroying books. Now, it's possible for a rich person to buy books and destroy them. So if you publish a book and the book is very, very important, one person can buy the book and destroy the book. It's part of destroying the message, particularly messages relating to the awakening. The awakening is very simple. The black Hebrew Israelites, they are not a cult. They are true children of the Most High, and they were kidnapped, enslaved, and they were sent in ships to fulfill prophecy in Deuteronomy chapter 28. You can read Deuteronomy chapter 28. The idea that the Hebrews were they were persecuted, they fled Jerusalem after AD 70, and they moved around and they settled in parts of Africa, and they were later shipped into Egypt again, and in ships they are recorded. And one of the books that I recommend for you is the book written by Rudolph Windsor, from Babylon to Timbuktu. And as we are doing the awakening, and I also have to introduce this book to you, Hebrews to Negroes. Hebrews to Negroes. They are a 4-volume book written by Ronald Darton, and it's a record of the history of the Negroes from the Old Testament to the present, how the Hebrews are now misidentified and classified as Negroes, how the true children of the Most High are now the Negroes, how they fulfill prophecy, and there's no comprehensive record that is greater than the work of Ronald Darton, as far as I know, as far as the books that I've read. The records are very clear, and they are attempting, or they have tried to destroy the message. When Ronald Darton wrote the 4-volume book, the message was attacked from all angles, and one way of attacking the message was to limit its circulation. A football, a basketball player, Kyrie Irving, in the United States, he tweeted lengths of the book, and he was suspended. He was accused of being anti-Semitic. And so this is the new strategy. If you proclaim that a Negro is a Hebrew, you are considered as anti-Semitic. You are promoting hate message. So it's the new strategy that has been used to suppress the awakening of the Hebrew. And so that's why people like Kanye West and Kyrie Irving, they are being humiliated financially. They are under persecution. It's a way of stopping the spreading of the awakening of the Hebrews. And I think the people who are doing the suppression, they have calculated that there are some people who have name recognition, and they are celebrities, and they can spread the idea. They don't want the celebrities to spread the ideas, and so they will destroy the message by suppressing the message so that the message will not go far. And if they have the power, they will even stop publication of books or materials relating to the Hebrew awakening. The message is very simple. You cannot be a chosen of God without showing how you fit into Deuteronomy 28. And the book written by Ronald Darton, Hebrews to Negroes, Darton has gone far to document how Deuteronomy 28 fits into the condition of the Negro who is scattered over the world. People have tried to distort the history of the Negroes, particularly as it relates to Deuteronomy chapter 28. And as you are aware, in part 1 of this video, I referred to you to a presentation by JD Farag, a pastor from Hawaii, and he's saying that Deuteronomy 28, the curses were fulfilled long before the transatlantic slave trade. It's a lie. It's a way of distorting the Bible, and I encourage you to read volume 1 of Hebrews to Negroes. This book, Hebrews to Negroes, volume 1, chapter 22, is a discussion of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. In Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, you will read that the Lord told Moses that the descendants of Abraham, they will be sent into Egypt again in ships. And Ronald Darton has shown how the so-called Negroes in America fit into Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And it's interesting that the so-called Israel of 1948, they are not able to show how they fit into Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 68. You'll be sent into Egypt again in ships. In the part 1 of our presentation, how they are deceiving the Hebrew Israelites, and a pastor, JD Farag, his channel said that Deuteronomy 28:68 was fulfilled long before the transatlantic slave trade. It was fulfilled in AD 135, and he cited 2 sources. Ronald Darton has cited so many sources, so many records, compelling evidence showing that actually the transatlantic slave trade was a fulfillment of the prophecy about the Hebrew Israelites as outlined in Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. So I encourage you to read that. I have done research and I've consulted DIC, Annotated Reference Bible, DAKE, and he has a commentary on Deuteronomy 28:68, and he's not able to show how that fits into Israel of 1948. I've also consulted MacArthur Bible Dictionary, or Bible Commentary rather. Is not able to show how Deuteronomy 20:68 fits into Israel of 1948. Definitely, somebody is lying, because if you are a true Hebrew, it means that you will be guarded from the four corners of the earth. And Isaiah 11:11 is clear, because in Isaiah 11:11, the prophet Isaiah is saying that the Messiah will gather the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah from places. And he named the places. Cush is there, Patros is there, Hamath is there, and the islands of the sea, definitely including United States as an island. The prophet Isaiah saw it as an island, the island of the sea, Jamaica, Guam, Trinidad, Haiti, all those islands definitely are part of the islands of the sea. And so destroying the message involves twisting the Bible. And they are twisting the Bible to make it look like Deuteronomy 28 has curses, but the curses already occurred long before the transatlantic slave trade. And so you don't fit the, the prophecy in Deuteronomy 28. If you are a descendant of transatlantic slave trade, you do not fit the prophecy in Deuteronomy 68, because that prophecy was fulfilled in AD 135. And this is a message that is being preached by JD Farag, who is a pastor. And you have to remember that when people are distorting the message, it's because their ignorance of the facts, is because probably they have not read the Bible, or it's probably they have read the Bible but they have not interpreted the Bible very well, or probably it's because of their education. And as you are aware, throughout history, people have been educated, or rather, they have been miseducated. And if you are not educated with truth, you are miseducated. And um, that fact is very clear when even we look at the history of Egypt, the civilization that went on and in Egypt. Definitely, it was a black civilization, but people do not want to associate the Egyptian civilization with black people. And the Arabs do not want to associate Egyptian civilization with black people. And they don't want to admit that the Israelites who went to Egypt were black. They don't want to admit that Joseph himself married an Egyptian black woman and had his children in Egypt, Ephraim and Manasseh. And so they will do all that they have to do to distort the message, to whitewash the message. And why would an Arab pastor do that? Definitely, I cannot, but there are a lot of people who are prejudiced by skin color. And as long as you are a Negro, you don't fit anything. You don't fit to be a Jew. You don't fit to be an Israelite. And you don't even fit to be saved. That is what was being preached um, in the early ages of Christianity, in the early ages of slavery, and in the middle of slavery. That was the preaching that went on to destroy the message that the Hebrews are actually the slaves who were kidnapped, and they were sent in ships into Egypt again. And the Egypt that the Bible was talking about is principally the islands of the sea, including the United States of America. So they have to destroy the message, and they are obsessed with Israel. They are obsessed with Israel of 1948, and the reason why they are obsessed with Israel of 1948 is that they want to disassociate any Negro from Israel, the Hebrew heritage. And that's why even the Ethiopian so-called Jews, they are not fully accepted in Israel. Despite the history of Solomon and the queen, the queen of Sheba, Ethiopia, the Solomonic dynasty in Ethiopia, despite the Bible records and they still don't want to admit that. And it has caused a lot of tension. I understand some Ethiopian Jews even committed suicide in Israel because of the way that they were mistreated. It's all part of the effort to suppress the message that um, the Hebrew Israelites are actually Negroes. They were scattered over the world, and they were shipped into Egypt again. And the Egypt again in Deuteronomy 28:68 is principally the United States. And this distortion of the message is not done only by white evangelicals. Unfortunately, some black evangelicals do that, and including a pastor in Atlanta who associate black Hebrew Israelites with Revelation 2.9 and Revelation 3.9. In Revelation 2.9, Revelation 3.9, the Messiah said that there are some people who claim to be Jews. They are not, but they are of the synagogue of Satan. And a pastor in Atlanta is a black pastor, a Negro pastor. He's preaching and he is distorting facts. He's associating black Hebrew Israelites movement with Revelation 2.9 and Revelation 3.9. We're talking about destroying the message. Unfortunately, it is not only the enemies of the Hebrew Israelites who are destroying the message that the Negroes are actually Hebrews, the chosen of God, the children of God, is not only the enemies of the Hebrews. Some members of the Hebrew Israelites themselves are destroying the message. You destroy a message by adding your personal beliefs to it. And you destroy the message by taking things out of it. And I'll give you an example. There are some members of the Hebrew Israelites community who preach, and it's a false preaching, that the Old Testament is the only book that we have to comply with. The New Testament is not part of it. And some people even say that the new the teachings of Paul is not part of the covenant. Is not part of the teaching. It's only the Old Testament, and it is ironic that you preach people should follow only the Old Testament, and then yet you cite the book of Revelation, and you like citing Revelation 2 verse 9, Revelation 3.9, because it has a favorite quotation. Those who say they are Jews, they are not, they are synagogue of Satan. You don't believe in the New Testament, but you believe in citing Revelation 2 verse 9 and Revelation 3 verse 9. And you also use violence in preaching, and you want to force people to convert to your camp. And there are so many camps, and there should not be any division in the Hebrew Israelites. There's no division in the body of Christ. And if you are a Hebrew Israelite, but you do not believe in the Messiah, then I believe you are lost, because the Messiah is the key. The Messiah is the one who is going to gather the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah. And that is found in Isaiah 11, verse 11. And it is the Messiah who gave the book of Revelation to John to be shown to all people, to be shown to the seven churches. The seven churches. And so if you're a Hebrew Israelite and you don't believe in the church, you don't believe in Christianity, it means you don't believe in the Messiah. The Messiah was given a message by Elohim himself. The message which was given to Messiah, Yeshua, was given to an angel. And the angel gave it to Apostle John to give to the angels watching the 7 churches, including the church in Laodicea, Smyrna, Philadelphia, Ephesus, the 7 churches. And so if you're a Hebrew Israelite and you say Christianity is a white man's religion, and so I don't believe in Christianity, I don't believe in the book of Revelation because it is part of the New Testament. It means that you don't believe in the Messiah and you are not a true believer in the Messiah, and you will lose your salvation, because Acts chapter 4 verse 12 tells us there's no name in heaven, under the sea, on earth, that you can get salvation except the name of Yeshua, Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter what name you call the Messiah. You call him Jesus Christ, you call him by European name, you call him by his Hebrew name, you call him by his Greek name. It is not how well you pronounce the name of the Messiah. It is not whether you use the original Hebrew name for the Messiah or not. It is what you do with your life. It is what you do with your life. It is what you preach, what you say as a Hebrew Israelite. If you're a Hebrew, you must be a light unto the Gentiles. Being a light unto the Gentiles means that throwing the light to the Gentiles. Your lifestyle should be a light unto the Gentiles. The way you are committed to the things of the kingdom will be a light unto the Gentiles. And if you are a light unto the Gentiles, you want to bring the Gentiles to the light. And you don't bring the Gentile to the light by hating the Gentiles, as Peter did when he didn't want to go to the house of Cornelius. Paul was an apostle unto the Gentiles, and he was a Hebrew. He did not preach hate to the Gentiles. And so when we're talking about destroying the message that the Hebrew Israelites are the chosen of God, we are not talking about the enemies of Hebrew Israelites alone. We are talking about members in the Hebrew Israelites community who distort facts and also destroy the message. The message that is destroyed, which lead the flock astray. The flock is shattered because the message that is being preached is not meant to gather the flock together, but to scatter the flock together, to scatter the flock away. That's why the prophet Jeremiah said that you scatter my sheep. You scatter the flock of my sheep. And you should not do that. And so today we are here to talk about deceiving the Hebrews. If you destroy the message about the Hebrew Israelites, if you destroy it, you will deceive the Hebrews. You will scatter the Hebrew Israelites, and the Lord will not forgive you. You have to be aware. It is the intention of Lucifer to destroy and to distort the message so that the Hebrew Israelites will not come to light. They want to prolong the times of the Gentiles. Luke 21:24 says that Jerusalem will be trodden by Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles. And all those pastors who are walking around saying bad things about black Hebrew Israelites, they are part of the Gentile kingdom. They are doing the bidding for Satan because they want to prolong the trodden of Jerusalem. But there's a time limit because Luke 21:24 says that Jerusalem will be trodden by Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles. If people have received money for them to preach lies about black Hebrew Israelites, they will not succeed, because no amount of money, no amount of power, can distort the awakening, can deceive the Hebrews, can prevent the awakening of the Hebrew Israelites, because this is their time. The Messiah is coming, and it's coming very soon. And those who distort the message of Hebrew Israelites, they have a problem, because they are obsessed with Israel of 1948. And that's why their prophecies fail. Their prophecies fail because they are focusing on the wrong direction. They are focusing on Israel of 1948. And so they prophesy something is going to happen, it doesn't happen. And that's why they are also obsessed with Donald Trump. Donald Trump being the Cyrus of Israel of 1948. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that there are people who claim that they speak to God every day, or God to speak to them every day, but they are not aware that the Negroes are the Hebrews. They haven't got the revelation. I'm surprised. I'm shocked that they can make all predictions. They can write so many books, but they will still stick to a false theology, and they will distort the message of the Hebrew Israelites. They are not aware that the Negroes who were shipped to Egypt were shipped in fulfillment of the prophecy in Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. They are not aware that when we're talking about the Hebrew Israelites, we are talking about the children of God. They are not aware of that, but they claim to be prophets of God. They are blind. Jerusalem will be trodden by Gentiles until the end of the Gentiles are. Thank you for watching this video.